So we specialize in the healthcare market space, mainly with hospitals, colleges of medicine within universities. So we have a mixture of customers, do range to private sector as well, but my main remit is around the healthcare and higher education. So my talk today, the presentation, was introducing a couple of solutions that we have, very innovative, around converting unstructured content to structured. So typically most people think of structured data as Excel spreadsheets, rows and columns. What our solution does is actually looks at letters and free text data and structurizes that data set. And the main conversations today are around a couple of our solutions in that space. The biggest challenges around extracting rich information from unstructured data, so the free text data and making it structured, is the time and effort it takes. So for example, within a hospital trust, clinical coding is something that they do, and they have to actually manually read all the documentation and then structurize it into a code frame. That's a manual process. Trying to identify that information takes a lot of time and effort. We have a solution to try and help speed that access up and effectively improve the accuracy of the data, because actually people could be missing things if there's too much data. The best progress around this over the next few years is probably people are now starting to believe that natural language processing technology can do what it says it does. A lot of people sort of think of artificial intelligence and think, oh, okay, can it really do what it says? But actually the proof's in the pudding, and seeing some pilots that we did and now seeing some actual real life solutions, I think people are starting to see what it can do. And the ultimate goal would be to try and use these type of capability to help with predictive decision support. So if you have a trainee doctor, allow a solution to actually take in all the relevant unstructured data as well as structured data sources and say, well, okay, if a patient is presented to a trainee doctor and they get a list of symptoms and some background around their history of the patient, potentially give diagnosis. Now the idea around that would always be, it would be A, B or C, for example. A clinician would still need to be the ultimate person. We're never looking to change the clinician's role, it's just give them some guidance. The biggest challenge, it's always been a challenge, is finding money. Innovations out there, there's technology out there that can do it. It's taken myself probably the best part of 2 to 3 years to try and get this type of technology within the UK. US have been doing this a lot because they're private healthcare, so therefore there's some clear returns that they get on the private healthcare. NHS doesn't have the money. Universities don't necessarily have the money, so it's quite a big challenge to try and find organizations that have funding. They all have problems and challenges around free text data, but actually finding the fundings for those projects seems to be the huge challenge.